Let me tell you something nobody in your life is brave enough to say to your face. Not your best friend, not your brother, not that guy in the comments who tells you to just move on. Nobody. The reason she's not coming back right now is you, not the breakup, not the argument that ended it, not the timing, not the distance, not the circumstances. You, the version of you that's been texting at midnight hoping she'll finally respond. The version of you that's been checking her Instagram story every single hour just to see if she's viewed yours. The version of you that's been lying in bed rehearsing a speech in your head, a speech she's never going to hear. That version of you, she already decided she doesn't want him. And I know that's painful to hear. I know you didn't expect this video to open like that, but I need you to hear it, because it's the only way this gets better. Here's the part that changes everything, though. That version of you doesn't have to be the final version. You are not done. You are not finished. You are not defined by this moment of pain. And the moment you truly understand what I'm about to walk you through, everything shifts. Not just with her, not just with this situation, with every relationship, every connection, every woman you'll ever meet for the rest of your life. So stay with me. My name is Lira, and welcome to Mystique Psychology. This one is going to hit different. Before we go any deeper, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now. I know, every channel says that, but here's why it actually matters on this channel. Most men will watch this entire video. They'll feel something real. They'll nod along. They'll feel motivated for about 20 minutes. And then they'll go right back to checking her profile and wondering why she hasn't texted. Don't be that guy. Subscribe to Mystique Psychology, because what we're building here, this community, this content, is designed to fundamentally change the way you see yourself. And when you change the way you see yourself, you change the way women see you. Hit that button. Let's begin. Okay, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your head right now, because I want you to be honest with yourself for a moment. Close everything else out. Just be here. You're running a loop. Same thoughts, same memories, same imaginary conversations playing on repeat. You're replaying the relationship like a movie, rewinding to every argument, every cold silence, every moment things went sideways, trying to figure out exactly where you could have done something differently. You're looking for the one thing you missed, the one sentence you should have said, the one moment where if you had just acted differently, she would still be here. And while your mind is completely consumed in that loop, your energy is broadcasting one single message to everyone around you, to the universe, and yes, to her. I need her. Now I need you to understand something that most people don't talk about. She doesn't have to be in the same room as you to feel that energy. She doesn't have to be talking to you. She doesn't even have to be thinking about you consciously. Women, and I say this not as a stereotype, but as someone who studies human psychology, women have a deeply intuitive emotional radar that most men completely underestimate. She can feel your energy through the way you post on social media. She can feel it through the tone of a mutual friend who mentions your name. She can feel it in the heavy silence of you not reaching out. She can even feel it in the way you reach out, even when you're trying to play it cool. And that energy, that desperate, heavy, I am lost without you energy, it doesn't make her miss you. It doesn't make her feel special. It doesn't make her regret leaving. It confirms that she made the right call, because here's what she sensed long before she even made the decision to leave. She didn't leave the relationship. She left a version of you. The version that stopped being a challenge. The version that started building his entire emotional world around one person. The version that made her his whole reason for existing, and forgot to have a reason of his own. And attraction, real, deep, sustained attraction. It cannot survive that. It never could, and it never will. Let me go deeper here, because this part is crucial. A lot of men think the reason their relationship ended was the argument. or the distance, or the we want different things, or the classic I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Those are symptoms, not causes. The real cause is almost always the same. At some point in that relationship, you stop being the man she was attracted to. Think about the beginning. Think about when she first fell for you. What were you like back then? You had your own life. You had goals you were actually chasing. You had opinions and you weren't afraid to hold them. You were a little bit unpredictable. She never quite knew what you were thinking. You had friends, passions, a direction. You were interesting. You were a challenge. And then, gradually, almost invisibly, that changed. She became your whole world. You started organizing your schedule around hers. You started seeking her approval before making decisions. You stopped pursuing your goals because spending time with her felt more important. You became predictable. You became safe. You became, without realizing it, boring. And I know that word stings. I know you're sitting there thinking, but Lira, I was just trying to show her I loved her. I was being a good partner. And I hear you. I do. But here's the truth about love and attraction that nobody in our culture wants to say clearly. Love is not the same as attraction. You can love someone deeply and still not be attracted to them. Attraction is not about how much you care. Attraction is about feeling. It's about tension, mystery, challenge, growth. And when you became a guarantee instead of a challenge, the attraction faded. Not because she's shallow, not because something is wrong with her, but because that's simply how human psychology works. So, what do? Here's where I need your full attention, because everything I'm about to say is going to feel backwards. It's going to go against every emotion in your body right now. You stop trying to get her back, not because you give up, not because you don't care, not because the relationship didn't matter. You stop trying to get her back because the trying itself is what's keeping her away. Here is the single most important paradox about attraction that you will ever hear. The moment you genuinely stop needing her to return is the exact moment she begins thinking about coming back. Read that again. Let it land. Because this isn't a trick. This isn't a manipulation tactic. This is just how the psychology of attraction actually functions. The man who doesn't need her, the man who has a full life, a real purpose, and genuine confidence that doesn't depend on her presence, that man is magnetic, not because he's playing hard to get, but because he's genuinely hard to replace. Think about the version of you she fell in love with. You weren't trying to impress her back then. You had your own world, and she got to be part of it. You weren't available the second she called. You had things going on, you had direction, and that independence, that self-sufficiency, it pulled her in like gravity. Then what happened? You got attached. You got comfortable. She became your priority, your purpose, your peace of mind. And slowly, that gravitational pull reversed. Instead of pulling her toward you, your energy started pushing her away. So your mission right now, starting today, is to reverse that current. Not for her, for you. Go back to being the man who has a life, the man who has purpose, the man who doesn't need anyone's validation to feel worthy of existing. And here's the beautiful part of that mission. Whether she comes back or not, you win. If this is landing for you right now, if something in your chest is shifting as you watch this, then this channel is exactly where you need to be. Subscribe to Mystique Psychology right now. I'm Lira, and every single week we go deep into the psychology of attraction, self-mastery, and building the kind of inner foundation that makes you genuinely magnetic, not just to women, but to opportunities, to success, to the life you actually want. Hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. Let's get specific. No more abstract concepts. Let's talk about exactly what you should be doing starting today. These are the 4 pillars of your transformation. Master these, and everything else follows. Pillar 1, your body. I don't care how unmotivated you feel. I don't care how much you don't want to leave the house. I don't care if getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain right now. You need to move your body every single day. Join a gym, start running, pick up a martial art, a sport, anything that makes you sweat and pushes you past your comfort zone. Here's why this matters so much. Your physical state and your mental state are not separate. They are deeply, inseparably connected. When your body is weak and undisciplined, your mind mirrors that weakness. When you are showing up for yourself physically, when you're being disciplined, consistent, and pushing your own limits, your mental state transforms alongside it. You start carrying yourself differently. You walk into a room differently. You speak differently. You think differently. And she will notice. Whether she sees you in person or whether she catches a glimpse of you on social media, she will see a man who didn't fall apart when she left, a man who used the pain as rocket fuel, not poison. That image is powerful, and it will do more for your situation than any text message ever could. Pillar 2, your purpose. Let me ask you something honest. Right now, what are you building? What is the thing you're working toward that has absolutely nothing to do with her? What gets you out of bed in the morning besides the hope that she'll message you? If you don't have an answer to that, that's the real problem. You need a mission, a goal, something that lights you up, challenges you, and pulls you forward with such force that the obsession over the breakup simply can't keep up. Maybe it's your career and you've been coasting. Maybe there's a business idea you've been sitting on for years. Maybe there's a creative project, music, writing, photography, building something with your hands that you abandoned because life got in the way. Reclaim it, start it, chase it. Because here's what happens when you have genuine purpose. The hole she left in your life, it starts to fill, not with replacement, but with meaning. And meaning is the most powerful antidote to obsession that exists. When you're building something real, you stop spending every waking moment wondering what she's doing, not because you forced yourself to stop, but because you're genuinely too invested in your own story to keep obsessing over hers. And that shift in energy is exactly what she'll feel when she checks your profile 6 weeks from now and sees a man who is moving forward. Pillar 3, your social life. Isolation is the enemy of recovery, and it's the enemy of attraction. One of the first things men do after a breakup is disappear. They pull away from friends, they cancel plans, they sit in a quiet apartment scrolling through old photos and old conversations, feeding the grief instead of letting it metabolize. I need you to stop doing that. Reconnect with the people you drifted from when you were in the relationship. Call the friends you neglected. Make plans. Say yes to things you'd normally cancel. Go out and have real physical experiences in the world. Laugh. Eat good food. Have a ridiculous conversation. See live music. Go somewhere new. Do something that reminds you, viscerally, in your body, that there is a full, vibrant, interesting world beyond this one person. And while you're doing that, talk to other women, not to make her jealous, not to post it on Instagram as a signal, but genuinely interact, flirt, reconnect with the part of yourself that is charming and confident and desirable. Remind yourself that your worth is not determined by one person's choice to leave, that there are people out there who would love to have access to your world. You don't have to date anyone. You don't have to start anything. Just remember who you are when you're not defined by one relationship. Pillar 4, your mind. This is the pillar most men skip, and it's the one that determines whether all of this is permanent growth or just a temporary performance. You need to do the actual inner work. The insecurity that made you cling, the fear of abandonment that made you needy, the low self-worth that made you define your value through her approval. These things did not begin with this relationship. They've been inside you for a long time, and they will not disappear on their own. Read, study, go to therapy if you need to. There is no shame in that. Listen to content like this channel that challenges the way you think. Journal. Sit with the discomfort instead of running from it. Because here's the brutal truth. If you bring her back without doing this work, you will repeat the pattern every single time. The same dynamic, the same slow erosion of attraction, the same ending, just with more history behind it, which makes it hurt twice as much. But if you use this time to genuinely heal and genuinely grow, you become a fundamentally different man, one who is not just attractive to her, but to life itself. Now, we need to talk about the moment that can make or break everything you've built. You've been doing the work. Weeks have passed, maybe months. You're in the gym. You're building something real. You're reconnecting with your life. And then, completely out of nowhere, your phone lights up, her name. Hey, how have you been? Or maybe it's softer. I was thinking about you. Or maybe it's more direct. I miss you. Whatever form it takes, your entire body is going to react. Your heart is going to jump. Your hands might shake. Your mind is going to start sprinting in every direction. She reached out. She still thinks about me. This is it. This is the moment. Respond now. Stop. Put the phone down. Take a breath. Then take several more, because the message you send back in this moment, the energy you respond with, will either prove that you have genuinely grown into a new man, or it will instantly prove that everything was just an act, that the old needy version of you was just hiding, waiting for exactly this moment to reemerge. Here's what you do not do. You do not pour your heart out. You do not tell her how much you've missed her every single day. You do not ask if you can see her. You do not bring up the relationship. You do not ask what this means. You do not act like this text message is oxygen and you've been underwater for months. Because if you do any of that, you confirm that nothing has changed, and she will lose respect for you instantly, not out of cruelty, but because deep down she was hoping to find a different man on the other end of that message. Here's what you do instead. You respond like a man who has genuinely been living. Hey, I've been really good, honestly. Staying busy. Hope things are going well for you. That's it. Friendly, genuine, brief, warm, but completely unhurried. No questions pulling her into a deeper conversation. No emotional hooks. No undertone of desperation. And then, and this is the hardest part, you put your phone down and you go back to your life. You don't sit there staring at the screen waiting for her reply. You don't screenshot it and send it to your 3 best friends asking them to decode it. You let it sit. Because here's what's happening on her end in that silence. She reached out expecting to find the old version of you waiting. She half expected you to jump at the message. And when you're calm and unbothered and clearly not sitting by the phone, she feels something unexpected, uncertainty. Why isn't he more eager? Has he really moved on? Is there someone else? Did I wait too long? And those questions, those nagging, consuming questions, are the beginning of genuine desire, not obligation, not nostalgia, real, active, can't stop thinking about it desire. That's what your patience and your unbothered response creates. Now, here's the part of this video I need you to hear most clearly, because most men never get here, and it's the difference between men who repeat painful cycles and men who actually evolve. Even if she comes back, even if she reaches out again and again, even if she shows up at your door telling you she made the biggest mistake of her life, you need to pause and you need to ask yourself one honest question. Do I actually want this, or do I just want the pain to stop? Those are two very different things. Because the man you are becoming, the man you've been building across these weeks and months, that man has standards. That man doesn't take someone back simply because they became available again. That man evaluates. He asks, why did she leave in the first place? Was it something in my behavior that I've actually fixed? Or have I just temporarily become better at hiding the same patterns? Why is she coming back right now? Is it because she genuinely sees and values who I'm becoming? Or is it because another situation didn't work out and I feel familiar and safe. He asks, did she actually respect me when we were together? Did she support my growth? Did she show up for me the way I showed up for her? Or did I spend most of that relationship auditioning for her approval? These are not cynical questions. They are not questions born from bitterness. They are the questions of a man who knows his own value. And here is the standard, the one you hold, no matter how deep the feelings run. She needs to ADD to the life you've built, not complete it, not rescue it, not fill the empty space where your purpose should have been. She needs to add dimension and joy to a life that is already whole. If she can do that, if she's grown, if she's genuine, if she brings something real, then you evaluate her like the grown man you've become. And if she can't, if she's going to pull you back into the same patterns, the same dynamic, the same version of yourself you've worked so hard to leave behind, then, with full respect and zero hostility, you say no. Not because you're playing games, but because you've done the work to know what you deserve. And that, right there, that willingness to walk away from something you want because it doesn't meet your standard, that is the most attractive energy a human being can carry. If this hit you, if something in this video cracked something open, I want you to do one thing before you close this tab. Subscribe to Mystique Psychology. I'm Lira, and this is what we do here every week. We don't do surface level advice. We don't do text her this to make her obsessed. We go deep into the psychology, the real mechanics of attraction, self-worth, and becoming the kind of man who doesn't just get the girl, but builds the life. Subscribe, share this video with someone who needs it, and drop a comment below. I read every single one. Let me leave you with your action plan. Write this down if you need to. Read it back every morning if it helps. Stop chasing. Stop waiting. Stop analyzing her every move. Start building. Build your body into something you're proud of. Build your career into something that excites you. Build your purpose into something that gets you out of bed before your alarm goes off. Build your friendships back. Build your peace. Build yourself into a man so complete, so grounded, so focused, so genuinely alive that whether she comes back or not is no longer the question keeping you up at night. Because here's the truth I want to leave you with today. She probably will come back. Not maybe, probably. When you do this right, not as a strategy, but as a genuine commitment to your own evolution, she will notice, she will wonder, she will reach out. But by the time she does, you'll be so locked into your own story, so invested in the man you're becoming, so clear on what you bring to the table, that her coming back won't feel like salvation. It'll feel like an option, and that moment, when you can hold that kind of power without arrogance, with full self-awareness and genuine warmth, that is real confidence. That is real attraction. That is the version of you she never forgot. Now stop watching and go build him. I'm Lira. This is Mystique Psychology. I'll see you in the next one.